I'm a 31-year-old programmer who makes things for the public good, and last year I decided to run for school board in my hometown, and I won. The shadow network that decides who wins elections is actually real. I'm not sure how many people here have had a chance to be part of the other kind of civic institutions, so I wanted to tell some stories about it from a perspective as an optimistically reckless, privileged but self-aware millennial who has no problem naively questioning things in the name of progress. This is a trait that I have learned to curb and become more tactful about, I think, but not before bothering many school board presidents, or at least one. So one big challenge that our district faces, that a lot of districts face, is the fact that there aren't journalists covering what we do. This means that there is no neutral mediator explaining to the public how to question our actions and monitor our actions. And this actually isn't healthy at all for anyone involved. This means that a lot of people look at us and see a taxing body that is raising taxes for no apparent reason and not getting anything done. It means that a lot of white parents think that we're just taking things away that they value for no reason, and a lot of parents of color don't know what we're doing because we're not speaking to them where they are. This is a real problem because school districts have real challenges that require meaningful change. And if the general community doesn't understand the reasons behind those changes and what the changes are, they're destined to fail. So that's why when I ran on a platform of communication. The first thing I did after being elected was start an experimental Medium blog where I would personally recount what happened during public school board meetings. Nothing particularly fancy. But I got a phone call the next day from somebody I knew whose job it is to help school board members not destroy everything accidentally and ruin the public school system. And she explained to me why this blog was a terrible idea. I learned about how people could misinterpret my personal notes as official minutes, how the other school board members might not appreciate the fact that I, as an individual, took this action without working together, or how the district could be liable if I got something wrong, or how the administration might not appreciate my recounting the 500-ton cobalt-infused dirt pile in the middle of a construction project because the community, that's not the most important thing for them to pay attention to. I got it, and that's why the next day, or that's why later when I set up a Twitch stream to mirror our school board meetings online, I did it anonymously. I still asked the superintendent what he thought, and he said, you know, if the board wants to do this, I'm happy to help, but you shouldn't do it on your own. I did turn it off. I got the picture. You see, one of the key parts about being a board member is you're no longer just an individual who cares about your community. You are one of 9, and you represent a really important institution, something that's more important than what you think is good. It has a powerful mission behind it. Sorry, I'm drawing a quick blank. Yes, and that's the other thing. Your personal opinions don't matter. They don't have any legal weight. In order to have an idea turn into direction, you need the majority of the 9 to get behind you. So I couldn't rock the boat too much because politically I needed, if I wanted board meetings to be live streamed, I needed to get allies. I needed to form coalitions. I needed to raise the issue during public meetings and get them to discuss the merits, the costs, and the legalities. So here I am as a board member, learning how to act and trying to make my district more accessible to the community in a place with no journalism. Meanwhile, everyone else is on Facebook, and they're talking about things they don't like. They're telling stories that don't necessarily capture the entire picture, but they're asking questions that deserve responses. I'm one of 9. I can't answer. I can't engage. The board won't engage, and there aren't any journalists there to engage and help. This is a problem. This is a problem because the best intentions can get completely misunderstood when opinions are formed on Facebook with nobody to help inject critical information. So as we discuss the weaponization of misinformation on a national and global scale, it's important to remember that it was the downfall of local news in the early 2000s that has led to this situation where there aren't arbiters of good information in the places where narratives are being formed. We don't just need money to help pay for algorithms to fight synthetic media or more articles that partisans can pick up and push onto their peers. We actually need real people in real physical communities who are willing to respectfully engage in places like Facebook to offer the nuanced and neutral information that people can use to form better opinions. We actually need all of you and your neighbors to show up to school board meetings when you're not upset, to ask critical questions there and report back on those public forums, not for the sake of stirring the pot, but in the same reason that a firefighter might go to a house that has smoke coming out of it, with the intent to help people. So thank you.